are back. It's a fresh edition of Weather for Weather Geeks on the 24th day of August 2021. Did not do Weather Geeks yesterday because I was playing in the American Cancer Society Tri-County Golf Classic out at Tippecanoe Country Club in the Canfield area. First time playing that course. Beautiful course. Beautiful weather, although it was hot. And, of course, a fantastic cause as well in 21 WFMJ, a proud sponsor of that event. Today, even a little bit hotter and slightly more humid than it was yesterday. And we're in the middle of a pretty good run right now after a stretch of cooler than average weather from the 14th through the 19th. Ever since last Friday, we've been consistently several degrees above the average. 88 the high for today, and yeah, that's 8 degrees warmer than average. Our averages are, of course, ticking down slowly but surely at this time of the year. Our average high on today's date is about 80. Now, we did have kind of a pristine blue sky today, and even though there's a lot of water vapor in the very bottom of the atmosphere down where we live, and that's why it's humid, of course, the air's pretty dry aloft, and so that allowed for a pretty deep blue sky for a lot of the day today. We've had a lot of haze and at times wildfire smoke in the sky this summer. Today was one of the days with better visibility this summer. Compared to a lot of days today, looked nice, although, again, pretty hot. The numbers today, 63 just after midnight this morning, 88 this afternoon. Notice our max wind gust today, nothing to write home about, and you know, the wind at this time of the year, unless we get a gusty thunderstorm, it's pretty hard to come by. We're kind of in kind of the doldrums of summer, if you will, and the statistics kind of back that up. When you look at all 12 months of the year, August is the least windy month in our part of the country. We're in the middle of a 3-month stretch where it's typically not very windy, again, unless we get thunderstorms, July, August, and September. Then there's a noticeable increase in wind as we go deeper into fall, into October and November, of course. But, yeah, windy days not real common at this time of the year. Mostly clear sky this evening, so good night to look skyward and check out what's going on. The full moon was a couple of nights ago, but the moon is still 94% illuminated out there tonight. Sunset's at 8:08 this evening. By the way, pre-8 o'clock sunsets are coming to a theater near you by, I think, Sunday, maybe Monday. I'll have to look. But by the end of the weekend or early next week, we're back to pre-8 p.m. sunsets, and we won't see a sunset after 8 o'clock again until next spring. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, in the sky tonight, in addition to the moon, of course, Jupiter is very bright. It's at its brightest at this time of the year because it was just at opposition just last week, and so it remains very bright in the sky, as does Saturn. Mars is not really that visible at this time of the year. That'll change as we go into the fall, and Venus sets pretty early, as it usually does. You can check out Venus, though, low in the sky before 9:30 this evening. All right, our weather quiet here locally. What we'll be keeping an eye on this evening is what's going on to our north and west. A couple of complexes of thunderstorms. One up here across Michigan, the other back towards Chicago and just south of Milwaukee. This one in Michigan is probably not going to be a problem for a lot of Ohio. This will probably fizzle some over the next couple of hours as it encounters somewhat more stable air in eastern Michigan. The complex that's out here, this bears watching, I think, a little more closely as we head through the overnight tonight. Our high-res model here doing a pretty decent job at initialization. In other words, it has a pretty decent idea where these storms are placed, and the timing is pretty good. This run of the model does suggest, again, that the complex near Chicago comes south and east, and in a weakened form might impact parts of northern Ohio tomorrow morning. This is, you know, a trend that we'll be watching this evening. If this holds together in some fashion, again, probably fairly weakened, this would have some implications for our Wednesday forecast. If we get a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in the morning, it may not get as hot as we think tomorrow. The other thing it may do is it may lay down some outflow boundaries that may make thunderstorms a little more likely tomorrow afternoon. And so even though we may not see much from this tomorrow morning, these little pockets of rain-cooled air could be the impetus for more numerous thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon than our current forecast has. So some trends we'll be keeping an eye on certainly this evening. Now, this is a different computer model, and you'll notice tomorrow morning it really doesn't have a whole lot in our area. It still has the complex back here. That's probably not the right idea. This model probably is not handling things all that well. Nonetheless, rolling forward tomorrow afternoon, it does have the possibility for some spotty showers and some thunderstorms. We have a very weak front that will be edging in on Thursday. This front's going to kind of wash out and stall and not be a big player, but it could be the impetus for more scattered showers and storms on Thursday, especially in the afternoon. I don't even have the front drawn on Friday's map, but you could probably draw some sort of half washed out stationary boundary in here somewhere. And this is probably another fairly unsettled day, especially in the afternoon. Hopefully we'll get to most of the scattered showers and storms out of the way for high school football Friday evening. Boy, is this a soupy looking forecast for the next several days. Dew point staying way up there, especially for late August. You know, we're past mid-July and even early August when, you know, high humidity is nothing uncommon. Usually the dew points become less of a story around here late in August and into September, but boy, this is a very muggy looking stretch. All the way into Monday, a cold front is likely to head our way on Monday, and this will probably trim both the heat and humidity somewhat for the middle of next week. Now, don't expect this to be an autumnal air mass, but it will be possible that we have a few comfortable days middle of next week. Now, last week it looked like this front would actually come through on Friday and give us some more comfortable weather for the weekend. Model trends over this past weekend really delayed this front by even 2 or 3 days. And so the forecast looks a lot different than it did middle of last week in terms of our next chance for some relief. But it is going to come, I think, early on next week. Pretty good chance for showers and storms with that front Sunday night into Monday. And then, yeah, again, you're not going to see a big whoosh on this map. This isn't a very dramatic air mass change, but the highest humidity air, the most moisture-laden air, will be shunted somewhat to the south behind this front middle of next week. It'll be interesting to see what's going on in the tropics early next week as well. The European model, which I'm showing here, has some sort of tropical entity making landfall down in the Gulf Coast region early next week. So the air mass behind that front, marginally cooler, probably less humid for a few days, but is that the start of a big downturn in our temperatures? No. I do think the 8 to 14 day period will not be as hot as our current air mass, but does it look abnormally cool? No. And, you know, keep in mind, as we roll into September, our average highs are back in the upper 70s. Again, they're falling slowly but surely. And so an above average day by September 4th and 5th is 80 degrees. 80 degrees sounds pretty nice to me right now, considering how hot it's been. But, you know, 10 days to 14 days from now, an 80-degree day is a couple of degrees warmer than the average. So that's the way the pattern is shaping up. I will do a fall outlook, a September outlook, early next week on Monday if we don't have too many storms around. If we're not too busy with storms, we'll do an autumn outlook on Monday. If we're too busy with active weather that day, we'll do it a week from today on Tuesday. Thanks for watching this Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. I will see you back here on Wednesday.